All right. That way the ladies who aren't able to hop on, I'll post a recording for them. So I am really excited. We are ending up July, and we're going into August. And so if you're in the July group and you're not in the August one, we would love to have you. I know Wendy is going to join us in the August group. And so I will be pairing up success partners. If not tonight, probably tomorrow. I'm going to try to get it done tonight. I usually try to wait a few days into the month. I'm writing it down so I don't forget. Just because sometimes I have stragglers. But I guess I could go ahead and pair you all. And then if a straggler comes in late and they're an odd number out, then that's on them. But anyway, so I'm really excited. So I wanted to kind of just chat with you all and see what results you had from July, if you had any at all. Even if they aren't skill results or like measurements or anything, like, in the positive, going into August, what do you feel like you can do better? Share some things that you feel like you could do better on, and share some things that you thought you did really well, and how maybe like going into August, how you feel like we as a group, or even just me as a coach, can help meet you where you're at and meet those needs that you have. So I know Wendy is new, so you don't have to share obviously about like last month, but if you just kind of want to share like what you are looking forward to the most out of the group, and that's what I'll go first, and that way like I'm not putting anybody on the spot. But be thinking, because I am going to ask you all. So in July, I lost 7 pounds, which is really good. I haven't done my measurements because that just takes effort, to be honest, instead of just putting on a scale every morning. So I'll probably do measurements here in the next couple of weeks. I have had I guess to kind of share a little bit, because I haven't shared a whole lot on social media about it. I've had a lot of like issues just with food. It's been for quite a few months, like at least 6 months, like the majority of this year, where like a lot of the things I've been eating have been making me sick, like crazy diarrhea. Like I know that it's probably TMI, but I would be going to the bathroom multiple times a day, like no solid stools or anything like that. And I just couldn't pinpoint it because I am one of those people. I'm the majority grain free. I don't eat a lot of like starchy vegetables. Like I have a very, very limited, and sometimes people say bland palate that I eat. But one thing that I've learned is I've kind of replaced a lot of things I used to eat with like substitutes, like mustard and mayonnaise, things that didn't necessarily have sugar added to them. Well, so I don't know if you all saw like a live video that I did about a week or so ago, but I finally went to the doctor after like Nick was like, all right, Robin, like you're having these issues, it's still going on, you're constantly bloated, you don't feel good. Like I literally sometimes would not eat because I knew anything I ate would make me sick. So it was like, if I'm going to eat, I'm going to eat as much as I can at one time, because that way I don't get sick like 10 times a day. It's just going to be limited to 4 or 5 within a window. And I'm stubborn, so it takes me forever to go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, and I had some labs drawn. And he only tested for allergies for like 20 different foods. It's like a basic panel. And so like that came back to said that like I was allergic to scallions. Okay, whatever. I don't eat scallions very often. But I did the Everly Well food sensitivity test. And I plan on going live tomorrow or the day after like on my page to share about my results. But so I got my results this morning. And what they do is, it's a little different from allergies. What they do is they test for, it's called, I think, IgGs, which is different from IgE, which is blood allergies, if that makes sense. So it tests food sensitivities, and they tested like over 96 food, spices, all sorts of stuff. And they rate them between high, moderate, and mild. And so there's different categories, and then they give you actual number where they fall in each of those. So in all of the 96 things, I had 2 in the top for high, like extreme. I had nothing in moderate, and I had a ton in mild, I believe. I want to make that. I think I completely skipped moderate. So obviously, the 2 things that were in the high were probably my triggers. What are they? They're yeast. They're 2 different types of yeast. Now, I would have thought maybe gluten or something like that, or maybe wheat, which I had cut a lot of that out anyway. But yeast. And I'm like, I don't eat yeast. Yeast is in bread. Yeast is in beer. I don't like beer. Lo and behold, yeast is in a lot of hell more things than I ever imagined. I don't know if you all know what yeast is in. It's like in everything. Like I've been doing all this research today. It's in mustard because vinegar is made out of mustard. So the process that to make vinegar. If you have an intolerance to yeast, you can't take any type of vinegar. Well, there goes mayonnaise. There goes my mustard, and like a whole crap ton of other stuff that I have limited myself to. Now that sounds bad, like I've limited myself, but like just eliminating things that just don't look at me, like if that makes sense. So I'm going to be doing a lot of trial and error this month of figuring out how my body is going to react to certain foods and not like trying to eliminate yeast out of my diet. See if it makes a big difference because I'm very hopeful. I'm not excited to kind of start reading every single label that I have. I'll be honest, like there are some things that I probably eat that, not probably, there are. Like I was eating, we call it barbecue pork rinds earlier because I'm like, oh, they don't have a lot of sugar added to them. I mean, it's fat, but I looked on the back, they have MSG. Guess what? MSG has yeast in it. And so there's several different types of yeast, but the two that I have a very high intolerance to, actually, which is brewer's yeast and what was the other? Baker's yeast. So basically, no yeast whatsoever. And so basically, any processed meats or anything, which is hard because I eat a lot of lettuce wraps. And what is easy for lettuce wraps? Lunch meat. And I had gone to the no hormones, no antibiotics and stuff like that. So I thought I was doing pretty good. Well, apparently I can't even really eat like cured meat anymore. It has to be uncured. And I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Because I was at like a church cookout yesterday and like, they had hot dogs and like, you know, the buns and chips and they had Kool-Aid. And the only thing that I even wanted to have that I was willing to eat was like a hot dog. So I ate 2 plain hot dogs dipped in mustard. But at that time I didn't know. I was in the bathroom for 4 different times within a 2-hour period for like 10 to 15 minutes each time. And I'm like, I didn't eat anything. I'm like, what? I mean, obviously hot dogs are not the picture of health, but hot dogs are, you know, have yeast in them. So that's kind of where I'm going into August. I am still doing like Lift 4. So my goals are to still do the 4 workouts a week. Sticking to pretty much the 2B Mindset meal plan, which is what I've been kind of following. I've been tracking a lot of the foods I've been eating, which helps. And I felt like since I started tracking like I'm supposed to, that's when I basically started losing the 7 pounds. And then making sure I'm getting my water, because if I don't track my water, if I'm not intentional, I can easily get like 10 ounces a day or a week. And so it's one of the things I have to force myself. And I don't think I've got them on I got some of those like little like flavor drops that are actually like the dye free. Cause you know how, Amanda, we were talking, I think not last week, but the week before about getting some different drops. So I was like, I wonder what all they got. They didn't have any made out of stevia there when I went at Walmart, which was surprising. But I got the ones without the dye to try and they actually weren't bad. So the water, sleeps, you know, trying to get at least 6-7 hours a night. I know more than that's going to be like a dream. So that's kind of where I am. I'm hoping to still continue to see the scale move down. And not that like me trying to figure out this food stuff, it like is a license to like not lose weight or not stick to my meal plan. But it's like, I feel like if I can at least get the whatever, the stomach stuff fixed out, like hammered out, like I would be so grateful, even if I don't lose any weight. Like, you know, so that of itself will be huge. And I think one of the reasons why I got so sick, I don't know if I had told you on, and I'm rambling now, but when I was in North Carolina for the week, I got extremely dehydrated. Like my urine was like a dark brown. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. And a lot of it was because I was sick and I was up in the mountains. And so when we started Lift 4, when we were gone, like I literally, my muscles seized up for like 4 days. because I was dehydrated on top of it. And like, it was one of the worst things I've ever had in my entire life. I've never given birth to a child, but I can't imagine it being any worse. And so it took me at least a week to recover just from the dehydration. So I'm working on it. So July was a good month. I feel like going into August, I'm hopeful, and I'm just excited to kind of see how we can basically heal my body with food, because it can be a medicine or a drug, however you want to look at it, in a good way or a negative way. And so this is kind of one of those examples of, if I can take yeast out, how can it affect my body, So anybody would like to go next? Because I just rambled away. What about you, Andrea? I see you're like, me, I want to
go. July was horrible. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It was just straight horrible. I struggled at the beginning of the month with my son's second anniversary on the 9th. And so that, I feel like I didn't use it as a crutch as I normally would, like I have in the past, which was a step up. But I just lost all motivation and was just like, well, August starts next week. We're just going to focus on August, not let July get me down, because it's in the past, something I can do now. I am maintaining, though, between 237 and 239. So I'm still at least maintaining it, whereas I did start, I want to say, back in May at 245. So it's not that much of a difference, but it's still, it's gone down. So, but I'm excited for this month just to get back on the ball and focus more on what I need to do. And
I know you're doing 2 months. Have you finished all the videos and everything so far?
Most of them. It just, I lost motivation for everything in general, and then money was tight at one point. So I cut back on my veggies a lot. And so I plan on getting those done this weekend. I'm actually going to sit there and watch all of them from start to finish again, rather than just trying to play catch up to where I was at. Other than that, it was really hard yesterday, though, because my aunt and my cousin came over and was like, oh, are you still working out and stuff like that? You still losing weight? Because she looked at my boyfriend and was like, so, John, I thought you were supposed to be dining with Andrea. And I just laughed. I was like, what diet? The seafood diet? Because I was like, I haven't been dieting either. I was like, I'm just kind of maintaining that 5 pounds off that I had. So, but
what do you want out of August?
To not lose focus over little things. Like, if I want a candy bar, I'm going to eat a candy bar, but I'm not going to let that affect me as bad as I did last month. But to just really persevere and push forward, regardless of what's going on, because that's my biggest downfall, is I'll hit plateaus in my mind and my mental state, and that will affect me most. Then I won't want to get up and do stuff. I don't want to exercise. It's those little things that stop me from going for the bigger picture. So
do me a favor, the next time where you feel like your motivation is gone, well, first of all, let me back up, and I'm not going to try to do this too much, but if you all haven't sat down and figured out why you're even in this group, why you're even willing to work out, or why you're willing to put down the soda and pick up water, you need to sit down and do a little exercising and get real with yourself. Why do you want to do this? Because when you are on this journey and when your willpower gives out and the motivation's gone, if your only motivation is to get pregnant, well, what if you can't get pregnant? What if you have a miscarriage? Then basically, if that's your only why, then you're going to lose absolutely all hope, and the shit's going to hit the fan, and you're going to see no reason in trying anymore of taking care of yourself. So you need a long list of the reasons why you're doing it, because when your willpower gives out, your why power will kick in. Because you want to be a stronger person, because you want to be the wife or the girlfriend that you know, like your spouse or whatever, deserves. Because you want to have energy, because you want to get off medication, because you want to feel stronger, because you XYZ. So you need to make a list of why you're doing this, because you're going to be tempted and tested over and over and over. And the only reason why I'm still doing this, these groups month after month for more than 3 years is because I have a solid why. I know why I'm doing it. And does that mean that your why has to be the same for like from here to a year from now? No. It can evolve and change, but you need to know why you're doing it. That way you are constantly reminding yourself and you're continually motivating yourself. Because people say, well, you know, I wish I was as motivated as you. I wish I could. I'm like, motivation's bullshit. Like really, like when it comes down to it, nothing I can say or do can motivate anybody else. It's really whatever you can dig deep and find inside of yourself that's going to make you actually do it. You need to actually make you empowered to do something that comes from only within you. So that's, if you haven't written down a list of the reasons why, I want you to plaster it on your bathroom mirror, on your fridge, put reminders in your phone. So where you are constantly reminded every single day where alarms go off, and you're like, oh, okay, that's the reason why I'm doing this. I know it sounds silly, but it's really is and this journey is much more emotional than physical. And so you got to train your mind while we're trying to train our bodies, because our minds will easily go back. It's like a muscle. You know, if you don't use it and if you aren't training it to do what you want it to do, then it's going to do what it's always done. So that's my little soapbox there. So you need to make a list of reasons why. And the next time you feel like you're struggling with the motivation or you're struggling with whatever, I want you to hop into the PCOS Academy and I want you to make a post or go live or whatever, and I want you to talk about it. That is like I know you've got Instagram now, but like that can be like your little virtual diary where you can say whatever the hell you want. You can vent, you can cry, you can scream, and you know, we can sit there and we can just encourage you. We can just listen, or we can just send virtual hugs, or we can actually give you like solutions to whatever you're struggling with. So use that group when you are struggling. Because if anything, you know that we understand and we are thinking about you, or we're praying for you, or, you know, or whatever each person does, and that you're not alone. Because there's no reason to feel alone, and there's no reason to do this journey alone at all. Okay. Who's next? What about you, Amanda? Oh, there's two.
Which one?
You can, since you just went first.
Well, my July, it sucked. It sucked. Absolutely sucked. Wasn't that I wasn't motivated or anything. I, you know, did all my workouts, but I seem to have, I consumed more carbs than I should have. And obviously I just can't, even on the days, even having like one serving in the morning, it still would just, I'm very sensitive to them. So it's been, this whole month was up and down, up and down, up and down, and just, it was frustrating. Very, very, very frustrating.
It could be the type of carbs or like something. So let's look. You're posting your meal plans for the most part, right? If not maybe every day, but most days.
Oh, like what I eat for the day? Oh yeah, I post pictures of the page because I'm too lazy to type it out.
Because I was thinking, I think you were one of the ones that's pretty good about that. I will go back through July and I'm going to look at some of the stuff that you've shared and maybe give you some suggestions, because it may not even necessarily be carbs themselves. It might be the type of carbs. It might be, you know what I mean? Like, because some carbs may affect you differently than others. Whereas like fruit, which has like, you know, a lot of fiber in them versus rice or whatever. So, go ahead.
Like the bread and tortilla shells, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Are you eating any of that?
I
what I would recommend, and I want to say it's an easy switch, but it's not for everybody, is if you're going to do any type of bread or pastas, wheat products, do whole grain. Don't even waste your money with whole wheat, because a lot of times it's just enriched anyway. So do whole grain over whole wheat. And what that will do is it will help your body metabolize it slower. So therefore, you're going to stay fuller longer, and your body, you're not going to get that spike of insulin like you would otherwise. So, and typically they're lower GI. So something that has like a higher GI, like even like a banana as opposed to strawberries, your insulin levels are going to spike. And so therefore your body is going to go in this like state of, like, for those who are insulin resistant, especially, you know, with PCOS, your body's going to basically go in this like fight or flight mode in a way. Like it's going to send this like signal for insulin, for it to produce insulin. And so that is what's going to help us lose weight. It will gladly help us. And so it's finding those foods that our bodies are not going to get those spikes of insulin. So if you are going to do any, or like, you know, pastas or rice or any type of grain, try to stick to whole grains. You know, make sure you are measuring them and portioning them out so that, you know, you're not just eyeballing, because I know with peanut butter, my eyeball of a tablespoon is probably like a half a cup for people.
Yeah, I think I've gotten out of control with the peanut butter, making those mud cakes and the shakes. So yeah. But I also found that when I have like bread and that kind of stuff, I swell like no other. So I really think I have a sensitivity to something to do with stuff. 'Cause I can 6 pound weight gain just from fluid, just from having a tortilla shell or a pancake or something, you know? And that's crazy. It's absolute madness. And it was so frustrating.
So what I would recommend is trying to find recipes of the foods that you like, but without. So if you like pancakes, like I know, for instance, Bailey he made pancakes out of Shakeology, and I was like, I've never done that. Like, I'm such an idiot for not thinking of that, because I love pancakes. I haven't had like a real pancake in forever. And when she was posting it, I'm like, those look so good. And so like trying things like that, or even like, I know you can do like eggs with like banana to make pancakes. Like that's just like what comes to mind, because where she made pancakes this week. But looking at other recipes that might, or if you like have a question like, hey, does anybody know of a recipe that you could fix around where I could still eat this, but cut out, you know, the processed stuff. Really, when it comes down to it, the processed food is not really food, and just because it's edible does not mean it's food. And so I've really had to train my mind that food is supposed to be fuel for our bodies. And when we, you know, as a society, we create these things that look like food. They add a lot of crap to it, you know, and whether it's sugar or sweeteners. We've just been trained our entire lives that it's okay, because everybody eats it and they're okay. They didn't die from it, you know. But in reality, they are like contributing to slow deaths. What was I going to say? Like the long, slow deaths, I think was what, anyways, don't pay any attention to me. So that's what I would recommend. So if you are needing some new ideas of how to switch things up, let me know. And I know Pinterest is a great place to go and look and see for different recipes like that. So.
And I also know I've been struggling. My PCOS is just totally flared up this last month, because like my hair is just falling out like you wouldn't believe. I'm like, and breaking out. It was just a bad month all the way around. So I would love to be added to the August.
Are you not in there? Okay. I'll make sure.
That way I can try to, you know, redeem myself, I guess.
Here's the thing. You don't have to redeem yourself. And I don't want you to beat yourself up for July, because July is done and over with. And if you're still thinking about July, like after this conversation, like I'm going to come to your house and shake you, because it's in the past, and you don't have to live in July. You live in August now. And the thing is, you're going to seek progress, not perfection, progress. And even if it's not necessarily the scale, but the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you treat yourself. And so that's why I'm really excited about this 30-day self-care. So I'll post more about that in the group. I got to go find my picture again because I lost it. Because Pinterest hates me. But I think that will be something that will really be good for us, because I think sometimes we do beat ourselves down. And there was a book that I read. I suggested it to some of you all. It's called Finish by John Acuff. And basically it's giving yourself the gift of being finished if you completed something. So like if you did finish like a 30-day fitness program or a week of no cheats on a meal plan, even if you didn't get the results that you wanted, giving yourself like the gift of being finished, you accomplished it. Like that in and of itself is something that should be celebrated and, is a victory in and of itself. So really just giving yourself the gift of being finished and making progress, because, you shouldn't beat yourself up shouldn't beat yourself up for it. I'm not going to beat yourself up. I may joke about coming when somebody says they haven't worked out for 3 or 4 days, and I'm going to come, and kick their butts, but like the thing is, it's all very lighthearted. Like this is really about, learning to love yourself through all those struggles, and not allowing yourself to go back in those cycles of the self-sabotage, and where, just throwing your hands up and being like, well, I've already screwed up this weekend, so I might as well like let the rest of the week be just as bad as the weekend was, if that makes sense. So August will be better. It will be better. We've got this. What about you, the other Amanda? You have been doing amazing, I will say. I've noticed, because like 2 weeks ago you were in a slump, and like
I get in these slumps, and then I'm like, no, this is not where I need to be. This is not where I want to be. I do this mental kick myself in the butt, and then I just hop right back on the horse. And instead of dwelling on my downfalls, because I know that's not going to get me anywhere, that's just going to keep me right where I am, I'm like, okay, brush it off, bad choice. And I remind myself it's never too late to start working towards being the healthiest version of you. And I keep that little affirmation in my camera roll on my phone, and I pull it up whenever I need to remind myself of it. Because just because I had a bad couple of days doesn't mean that I shouldn't try again. That's what it's going to be. I know it's going to always be a try, and it's going to always be a back and a forth. And I'm okay with that. I just need to remember to not completely give up for forever, and that I need to try and, do my best to make up for those lax days. Eat extra veggies, drink extra water, and make funny veggie memes.
whatever we do for fun, from you.
It cut out. I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said whatever it takes to make fun. We're easy to amuse.
It's been fun though. I'm so excited to get back in and keep rolling in the August group. So this is being a part of these last groups these past several months has been absolutely amazing. I never thought, I haven't weighed myself, so I don't know if I've lost, if I've gained, because that's not what this journey is about for me. This journey is about me learning how to focus on making the better choices for myself and control the things that I can control, because I can't control my weight, but I can control other things that might eventually help my weight. But I'm focusing on what I can control.
And I love that. Like, hugs. All right. What about you, Wendy? So Wendy is new. She is going, I guess you should already be in August. I think I added you.
Yeah.
You want to introduce yourself a little bit to the girls?
Sure. I'm Wendy. I am a huge Disney fan, and no kids. I'm single, living the single life. So, for me, this journey is all about getting better about eating and being healthy. And I've had a lot of issues with weight gain lately because of medications, and I don't know. I've been thinking about going and joining a gym and working out, trying to be healthy. And this just kind of popped up one day, and I was like, why not? Let's just try it, see what happens. So I'm really excited to do it.
Well, I'm glad that you're here. And she's very, very talented as an artist. Like, she's amazing. You should post some of your picture or I guess they're not pictures, but they're pictures of your paintings.
Okay.
I'm just jealous of artistic people because I always wanted to be artistic and it was never relaxing for me. It was more like stressful if you're like one of those people like me. But anyways, so Wendy is joining us. Where do you live now? Is it out? Are you in Alabama?
Utah.
Utah.
Yeah.
You like Disneyland rather than Disney World. That's how I. So what is better about Disneyland over Disney World?
Ooh, can I go?
I personally love Disneyland because you have two different parks to jump from. You don't have to go driving around or taking any of the trains around to the other parks. I don't know. I just love being able to do that. And then there's some rides that I absolutely love in California Adventure that you don't have in Disney World. So
I've never been to either, so.
Disneyland.
Yeah, you need to come with me.
Disneyland is life.
Yes.
One of my best friends lives out in Pasadena. Well, she grew up in Pasadena, which is, I guess, like in that area of California. I don't know exactly where Disneyland is, but it's Southern California. And I know like they go all the time because it's like a skip, hop, and away. Whereas I would have to get on a freaking plane and go over there. So I think
Yes.
Maybe we should have a girls trip.
Definitely.
Wendy, what part of Utah are you from?
I'm from Clearfield.
I used to live in St. George.
Oh, really? Awesome. Where do you live now?
I'm in South Carolina.
Oh, you're clear across the country.
Well, small world. Well,
Yes.
We have less than a minute left. So I was just going to close up. I'm really excited about August. Amanda, we will make sure that I'll get you in the group. I will do Success Partners tonight. I'm going to message a few people at the last minute to see if they were in the July group, if they want to come over to August. And I will be posting about, if I don't tonight, definitely tomorrow, I'll be sharing about the 30-day self-care challenge that I would like for all of us to do. It'll be something that I would love. I don't expect you to participate every day, but I would love for you to at least try to commit to 3 to 4 days a week of choosing the things that on there to do. That way, it's just fun to be able to do little things to take care of ourselves that may not necessarily cost money, but it will be fun. We can see what each other's doing for ourselves and encourage and just have fun with it. So that's what I am planning on doing. We're doing the Success Partners 30-day self-care challenge because I've not done a 30-day, like I've never done like a challenge like that before. If y'all have any questions, let me know. Feel free to message me if you have questions about food or meal plans, and we can schedule a video chat or phone call, whatever you need. So let me know if you have any questions, but if not, I'm going to go ahead and end this before it cuts me off because it always does every week, and I'm going to beat it this time. So because I always get cut off, and so I'm going to end it before it does. So, but I hope you have a great night. Thank you all for hopping on, and I love you all. Bye.